Welcome to the new World Woke News channel, where I serve you the news and no fluff, no buff, no BS. Just the news how it is, So please, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what I did wrong, tell me what I missed, tell me what you want to see. Just try to keep it somewhat positive. I don't mind constructive criticism, but don't sit there and bash, because there's no point in it. Let's just be productive, alright? Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe, okay? Thank you very much. Now, this morning, Atlanta is number one in turning back the clock, going back down to phase one, and putting everybody on lockdown like it was months ago, Now, that's complete and utter baloney when all CNN and all the fake news media is touting these crazy, numbers. But let's not talk about the survival rate, and let's not talk about the hundreds of fake tests that have been proven by nurses in the field, by doctors, by everybody, okay? It's baloney, alright? And it's only happening where? Democratic states. If people can't put them two, logistics together, then there's no help for you, okay? And before I forget, please bear with me while I get this all organized and set up. Everything else will be different, okay? This is just, coming together quick, because I can't take the crap that I'm hearing anymore. Okay, and I can't take some of these other, channels that are presenting news to you and not just giving it to you raw and uncut. You know what I mean? Pardon my French if I swear ever, but it's hard for me to keep my mouth shut. Now, even more breaking, even more amazing, how mainstream media is not reporting on this. I do not know, folks. It is absolutely mind-boggling to me. Okay, a couple nights ago, myself and a whole bunch of hardcore Trump soldiers, digital soldiers, stumbled upon what the sick pedophilia elite have been using for 20 years, okay? 20 years. They've been using WayFair, okay, which is owned by Amazon. So WayFair, Amazon, ST, and even a DNC site is how you order up your children. It is disgusting. What you do is you go to a Wayfair, okay, and you type in, you go to a cabinet that say is priced at $9,999. We're talking about a regular steel cabinet that you would store files in, whatever, the 8-foot tall ones, 2 double doors, made out of chintzy, tin from China probably, because, that's where everything came from until now, until Trump. But anywho, I digress. And that cabinet somehow is $10,000, okay? $10,000. And if you take the SKU and you go to, oh man, how did I forget this? Yandex. It's YANDEX.com. You take this SKU from said cabinet that's $10,000. You type that SKU in Yandex, and what comes up? The most deplorable, disgusting images of kids half naked in their bathing suits. Everything, just the things that you can't even imagine. Okay, and how do we know this also, which I tweeted out 2 nights ago, was I saw some pillows that were $10,000. Okay, just a single pillow, and it was a Zodiac pillow, okay? But before it said Zodiac, follow your trail on the Zodiac pillow, but in the front of it was a odd, different, and there's let's say 5 pillows, okay? And there's 5 different, names, like they were brands or something. No, they weren't brands. These were the exact last names of children on the missing reports, okay? The last names identically match up. Alright, if you don't believe me, just go on Twitter. It's trending, it's out of control, and people just keep making examples. And thank God for them. Thank God for the digital soldiers. And these disgusting people need to go far, far away. They're disgusting. Okay, it's unbelievable how disgusting they are, right? There was also a baby book on sale for $12,000. Now, what I assume the baby book is, I didn't get into it. I assume the baby book is a book just filled with pictures of children, kids that are up for sale, trafficked. You know, these people are effing sick. Okay, let me see where else with that, okay, if you want to see a perfect breakdown of this, you can go to a YouTube channel called Weekend Warrior, and he has about a 10-minute video of, the steps and where it takes you. Now, Yandex was created by the Russian Federation, okay, which has ties to Abramovich and Soros and all those disgusting people, and it was created in 2000. So unfortunately, for nearly 20 years, these sick pedophiles have been doing this under our nose in the cover of WayFair, which Jeff Bezos, Amazon, yeah. So how mainstream media is not covering this blows my mind, okay? And if you go over to the Weekend Warrior channel, let them know that this news channel sent you, okay? Now, another story that I have to touch on that's breaking is, now that Ghislaine Maxwell is in custody, some videos are leaking out that I'm assuming she had in her possession. Well, I literally threw up in my mouth, and I had to take a break, to say the least. I will give you the dumbed down version. It was a young, beautiful lady. I would be guessing, I don't know, teens, early 20s maybe. I don't even know. Maybe younger. I don't know. Naked and tied, in the jumping jack position, wide open. And Mr. Epstein, the sick, perverted F word that he is, was taking like a piece of glass or magnifying glass. When you're a kid, you burn ants. Well, that's what he was doing. That, and it was gross. I'm sorry. Then there's another picture of him with a hose, just dangling water to torture. And then there was another one leaked. Remember when the Democrats wanted to pay their tribute to George Floyd and they wore that African garbs? Well, in this video, the people, I'm assuming in Africa, I don't know, so shoot on this, but wearing the same or nearly the same African garbs, and there was a line of dead human beings, I'm assuming, I hope, lined up on the ground, and this one gentleman was just skinning and butchering one person as they were cattle, like a cow. And it's just weird that the same, garbs are being worn. Symbolism will be their downfall, folks. Now, this leads me into my next story, okay? The next story I'm going to talk about is there's rumbles of this horrific interview, and it's with a man named Rabbi Finkelstein, Finkelstein, or EIN. And his story is just horrific in itself. He tells a story of how they traffic the kids, they bring them, they torture them, they sacrifice them after raping them and doing what they want with them. And what they do with them, the bodies afterwards, because there's thousands upon thousands, because 800,000 kids a year go missing in the United States. And how is that not mainstream media? I do not know. But he tells the story that they put them in their meat processing plants and feed them to us. Now, the FBI caught wind of this interview, and they did an investigation. They went into some restaurants, and their investigation led to 90% of the restaurants they went in had human meat in them, and the owners had no clue. 90% of the restaurants they went in had human meat. That is unreal. Okay? 65% of the restaurants they went in, what they thought was cow meat was really horse meat. So, unbelievable. Now, an insider reports that Cargill, one of the top 3 largest meat processing plants, has 13 of their high executives that are known and tied to pedophilia. So, it is said that this Cargill plant processing here in Minnesota, I might add, Minnesota has a lot of ties and a crap ton of, it's a Democratic state, number one. If you don't forget, there's a lot of Somali immigrants there, and it's known to be a trafficking hub for these poor trafficked children and sometimes, people. They're not just all for sex slaves, they're there for common slavery, I guess. It's unbelievable. It's said that they're the leader in turning these hundreds of thousands of bodies that they have to dispose of into mostly hamburger meat. Okay? They also are said to have the capabilities, and this is insane, they have these big huge tanks that they put the bodies in with other acidic chemicals, and they break down everything and it turns into a paste. And with this paste, it's way easier to distribute it throughout our food supply. Okay? Now, as I make this channel go bigger and better and I figure things out, I will be able to show you guys included pictures that I have and stuff, so bear with me again. The paste, yeah, it's disgusting. Into the food supply. Now, you have to understand some names that are main customers, okay, are Unilever, Tesco, their number one client, get ready for this, McDonald's, yes, Mars, Dunkin' brand, Nestle, Care Foods, and that's just some that I saw. The other ones I didn't really think they would be known. They are such a huge company that their nearest competitor is worth $61 billion. Okay, that's the one below them that, say they're second and the other one's third. The difference between second and third is they're worth $110 billion. Other companies worth, what was it, 62 billion. No, 61, I'm sorry, billion. They, Cargill, are at every level, okay? Most of this starts at a soy farm, okay? Then it goes to the orders. And then you have, from the soy farms, you have the cows, okay? That, are fed from there and everything. So they go from the orders to the meat processing, which they're one of the top three, to the consumer companies, which are McDonald's, Dunkin' brand, etc. And then where? To us, the consumer. Okay, so Cargill's website is pretty interesting. There's a lot of information on there, but there's a lot of information, on the other selections around it, saying how horrible they are, how they are one of the number one polluters, the number one deforestation down in South America, that they break. They get fined all the time, but they don't care because they're such a giant, So, that's that. Sorry to break that news to you, that 99, that was the other thing I forgot to say. 99% of humans have 8 humans, is what the FBI has came to the conclusion of. Sorry, it's boiling hot in here because I got the door closed, so I don't have any background noise at the AC in the living room. So, we've all consumed human 99 out of 100. That 100 person, good for you. Now, to go on to a different subject, Ghislaine Maxwell wants to say, allegedly, she has not seen her perverted friend Jeffrey in 10 years. Okay? Hold on one second. I totally messed up there. Sorry about that. That was it. Okay, I'm sorry. Hasn't seen him in 10 years. She seeks a $5 million bond. Okay, which she can cover. She's worth minimum, if they know about in one of her bank accounts, $20 million. So give me a break, okay? She's seeking that with an electronic ankle monitoring system. But everybody knows, even, the everyday drug addict that gets busted can beat that thing. And if you have the money that she has, guarantee you can beat that. She now sits in a Brooklyn jail, which has been referred to by many, many, many as a third world country, which I don't feel bad for at all. I wish she would stay there for the rest of her life. They have heavily surrounded her cell with numerous guards, and they're retired Navy SEALs, I believe I saw somewhere. She doesn't have any sheets. She doesn't have any clothes. She has paper clothes to prevent her from committing suicide. We'll see what happens, though. Do you believe Jeffrey Epstein died that day? Do you believe that was his body on that stretcher? No. Do you believe all those things failed all at once? The guards both were sleeping, the cameras went out. He had 100 freaking sheets. He had a cop or a bunkie before that tried killing him, that big, huge, juiced up cop that went rogue. Like, come on. Plus his hiatal bone, I think I said, or something like that. The famous, coroner came and said, 0.01% of hangings from way, way up will break that bone. That bone is broken with a forceful strangulation. But it doesn't matter, because that wasn't his body. You can see it a mile away. When they had that picture of him going in the hospital with his head revealed in his ear and his hair, that wasn't him. No way. And there was a comparison photo of another person that died that day that was dead spot on. But you go where you want with that. Her next court date, it will be Tuesday on the bail hearing. You think she'll get it or not? They're ludicrous. If they give it to her, if they better put her in, I don't know. They have to put her, I don't know where they would put her, but they better have the baddest mofos in the world protecting her ass, okay? Alright. Gotta cover some China stuff, because it's nasty shit stuff, you know? The CCP, China Communist Party, lied, obviously, will be held accountable after these new whistleblower campaign that just started. Okay? Oh, I didn't do that, sorry. I'm not part of them, okay? I just been talking like that for a long time. That many doctors, biotechs, lab techs, and any other person with knowledge has joined, this campaign, and it's supposed to blow everything wide open, and then with that information, there's no BS. It's concrete. We got it from the horse's mouth. Some of these people are supposed to come right from the Wuhan lab, the whole nine. So they can't deny it. They can't play games. There's nothing that can go on. So once we have that, we can go and hold China accountable, and just the atrocities that the CCP is doing. I hope that this whistleblower, us getting involved, and the Chinese people just have an uprising, because there's billions of them. The CCP is, the Five Eyes, they can't stop all those people, okay? Innocent Chinese people are the ones that are victims in this. So many, billions of them, and it's just ridiculous. TikTok. I've been saying for a long time, been tweeting about it and everything. TikTok needs to go. It is owned by a Chinese-based company. Sorry, I'm moving in my seat. A Chinese-based company, okay? Now, any Chinese-based or anything in China, okay, is under the umbrella of the Five Eyes, the CCP, okay? Now that means they have total and complete access, control of everything, basically, the data, whatever they want. They're the Communist Party, which, these radical Democrats, pretty much want to be too, you know what I mean? And these Antifa losers and this bullshit Black Lives Matters that's not even about that, okay? It's getting out of control and it's getting under my skin. But anyways, with that being said, it's anybody who has TikTok needs to delete it. Any kid that has it especially needs to get rid of that. Not only are they taking your personal information and keeping it, they're spreading propaganda. They're very intelligent. So through ways, they are brainwashing you. Okay, just like our government has been, until now, since the early 50s, If you don't believe me, Out of the Shadows, Official is the name of a movie on YouTube. I suggest you watch it if you've never seen it. It's amazing. It tells you the truth about Hollywood and the pedophilia and all the sick satanic worshiping that's going on. And it also has a top CIA agent that's retired and telling the truth that says, since I think it was the 50s, I know, my whole life, my parents' whole life, that the CIA and the government has been in cahoots with Hollywood. They control it. Every movie, every script, everything you've ever seen had to go through the CIA in the White House first to make sure they approved of it, what they didn't want getting out, what they wanted to get out. And what they tell you in the movies is pretty accurate to the real truth. What they tell us in real life is bullshit. I'm not saying everything. They drop hints, they drop glimpses. Like, there's just insanity. All the movies that are connected in sick ways that tell them, they basically spit in our face most of the time, 99% of the time. Like, if you want just an easy, quick one that everybody know, you got Monsters Inc. What do? They scare the little kids. What do the pedophilias and the sick bastards do to the little kids? And that's why they were torturing that woman, Jeffrey was, to get their adrenaline flowing at a highest rate possible, because then they extract the blood. It's called adrenochrome, and the higher the adrenaline, the more potent the adrenochrome blood is that the elites and all those sick bastards in our government, in all governments, every country is involved. The Vatican was the hub, was the home base. Okay, that's a whole nother news cycle. Sometimes I will post videos that aren't, it ain't just news, but I'll post informational videos breaking down certain things about what's really going on, the truth that you all need to know and understand what's really going on. Okay, what all these sick people have done to children and trafficking people and everything else. But I digress right now. So TikTok needs to go. Okay, we, the U.S., have thought about banning it. We're thinking about it strongly, and we're also considering banning every app that comes from China for national security reasons, which I agree with. They're using that for propaganda spreading. They're using it to gather data for facial recognition and every other reason why they collect every little freaking piece of data on us. It's sick, it's disgusting, and it needs to go. So, if you got it, get rid of it. But the man that owns TikTok is having second thoughts and is trying to sever ties with China and get his company out of there. They ain't gonna let that go. That app is way too popular unless a mass, a mass exodus, just drops it, and that's what the guy who owns it's scared of, obviously. More news. The U.S. has to pause Hong Kong's shipments of our defense weapons for national security reasons. Their specialty trade agreement they have with us, unfortunately, because now China took over Hong Kong and now we can't assist them. It's horrible. It sucks. I already said about banning them. Oh gosh, this just blew my mind. China also is upping its illegal shipment of guns, and more so than guns, gun parts. Okay, the latest shipment they seized it in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, in the article I read, there was 3 different seizures in Louisville, Kentucky. I think the last 3. Why freaking Louisville, Kentucky? I don't understand. But the last one was 10,800 gun parts, worth about $130K. Okay? Now, you say that ain't too much money, but included in there was 100, okay, silencers. Now, what do we need silencers for, okay? Actually, I'm going to leave my glasses off. What do we, 100 silencers? Let's try to send them over here. this fiscal year so far, 5,300 seizures. Different seizures, folks. That's insane. You know, but I guess it's not. I guess the number is a little bit down this year. Not for seizures, but for the total number, if you add all the guns and gun parts together, that's actually down, not by much, maybe 10-15%. But the number of seizures is double almost. It's crazy. Alright, now still in China, we got the Huawei, you know, it's been banned from America. But, we want Huawei banned from 5G networks too. Alright? And we want everybody else to ban it from their 5G networks too. Because it's a security. I think the 5G network is more about not phones, not anything, but controlling space. Because the space program, Trump was on this mission, we gotta do the 5G first, Alright? 5G has something to do with space, I believe. It's not like everybody's thinking, oh, towers everywhere, towers. That whole thing kind of died down, and I don't see the towers popping up like I used to. I'm not saying there wasn't some that popped up, but I don't know. I think it has more to do with national security and the race to it. Whoever got it first has the ability to, I don't know, control space or have a advantage in space or advantage in every aspect. I know it's heavily used in the military, so I know that for a fact. So that's another reason why. Now, now other countries are already trying to distance themselves from their relations with China. You know, they went in with Huawei, you know, Europe over there, over the pond. They didn't follow in our, you know, footsteps, and they elected to go with Huawei and take their products. But now they're deciding, oh my God, after this, the lies, the holding back of medical supplies, not only to us, but to others, you know. China's responsible for a lot of death, allegedly. Even though the coronavirus survival rate is at 99.7, I might add. 99.7. 99.7. It's about higher than the survival death rate from the common flu. I shit you not. Alright. Roger Stone, real quick. Obviously, I think everybody knows that he's been released from prison. President Trump is right. It's a bunch of baloney. He was treated unfairly. It was all under, you know, the Mueller Russia investigation. And how many associates did they, I don't want to say this, trump up charges on, of, you know, Trump associates, friends. You know what I mean? Lawyers. Like, come on, man. And all they were trying to do by that was getting them to rat. And look at the loyalty that nobody ratted. Roger Stone's on fire. He just tweeted out this morning that, oh man, I can't stand him. The Republican that always sways. Oh man, I can't think of it right now. But he called him a sore ass loser or something. Oh man. But he's on fire, and he has a right to be. You know what I mean? His charges were allegedly he was charged with lying to Congress, which every one of Trump's associates got it. They walked him into it. They trapped him. They ensnared everybody with it. Anybody can get that. You know, because in that Mueller investigation, they were just, you know, you said one word different, bam, you lied to Congress. It was bullshit. And they got him threatening a witness, which is baloney too. Obstructing justice, which, you know, sorry to say, but anybody can get that pretty simply. Yeah, but that's it. He's out. He's not being silent, I'll tell you that. I don't know if Trump feels about him out like that, but whatever. Okay. Trump supporters, this is getting out of control. It's really pissing me off. And if it starts happening anywhere around in my state, my shithole, deplorable blue state of Connecticut, where I drive around with back the blue in the back window of my little lowrider truck every day, and give middle fingers to those who don't like it. This is getting out of control though. Daily Caller's George Ventura caught on tape a Black Lives Matters protester straight antagonizing. I don't want to say he was an adult. He looked like an adult, and then it was like a 18, 20-year-old, maybe 6. I don't know. I can't tell anymore. But he was between 16 and 20 years old. Both of them black males. Okay. The younger one was taunting and said he's going to punch him. And he does. And 4 feet from 3 or 4 cops. Sucker punched him almost. The guy was sort of facing him, but, And then the cops went to grab the kid and arrest him. His, 6 buddies are trying to pull him away, saying the other guy hit him first. I'm like, who the fuck interferes with that? Pulling, who thinks that's okay? So they finally get the other punks away. They put that kid in cuffs. They're walking him away to take him to lock up, whatever. Now, the 5 or 6 turns into a mob, and they're following him. And they're trying to grab him. So, the police have to form a line and hold the line, and they get into it, of course. And another Black Lives Matter protester is arrested. Good. They don't need to be arrested. It's a bunch of baloney. This happened in Washington. I guess it's a Black Lives Matter, square or something. I don't know. It's just ridiculous if you ask me. So, okay, that's that one. A Marquette student, Samantha Farelli, was admitted to the class of 2024 at Wisconsin's Marquette. She already has paid her tuition, her room and board. Now, she chose to make a TikTok harmless video. It's not even derogatory. There's nothing wrong with it. It's her just, dancing around in front of a Trump sign, showing her support. Well, the university called and said that they, might not be able to accept her based on her views. Are you kidding me? Marquette University called her and told her that they might not be able to accept her because of her political support for Trump. Now, the libtards got a hold of her account. Finally, they searched and searched, and they, of course, found it. They were posting such things as, "I hope you get shot." That was in quotes. "You're never coming here. You're a piece of..." Yeah. So... So, the, what's that? Change.org. There's over 3,000 signatures on a petition. As of now, she is still enrolled, but it's up in the air. What do you think about that? You think they can start picking and choosing who comes to universities if they already were accepted and obviously passed the educational standards? But, like Trump, this is out of control. Alright, real quick, COVID-19 relief money. I don't like this. I think this is baloney. The Catholic Church received total $1.4 billion of that money, okay? Even the ones hit with boatloads of sex cases, okay? Like the one in New York, one of them in New York has a boatload of sex cases against it. Got 28 million total, okay? What does that church need? $28 million for 4 months, we'll say. That would be $84 million a year if you did the math. Multiplied it by, okay, multiplied by 3. 28 times 3, okay. You think it costs that much to run a game? No. What? Okay? Now they say, you dig a little deeper, and they say the parents are struggling to pay the kids' tuition, so that's hurting them. And this is hilarious. The expenses of disinfecting the classrooms will severely stress and pressure our budgets. It's a crock of shit. What they're doing, they need the money to pay off the sex lawsuits. Instead of real small businesses getting it, the church gets it to pay off their sick sex cases. I can't even get it. On this note, this is a somewhat bad and good news. On June 11, 2020, a young man, Robert Fuller, 24 years old, from Palmdale, California, suicide himself by hanging from a tree. So many thought, that it was a hate crime, but after a lengthy investigation, a day or two ago, it concluded, and the poor gentleman, he did have scars on his wrist from previous suicide attempts, and he made no effort, they said in the report, to remove the ligature from his neck. It's a sad story, but it's also good that, it wasn't a hate crime, because that would be horrific. It's horrific that the man took his life, but it's very horrific if it was a hate crime involved. And this country would just explode, and that would be something to explode about, I believe. Closing, the New York Giants football players that were arrested for armed robbery when they showed up in their Lamborghinis, Ferrari, and a Bentley back to a party where I think they lost a John Madden football game that day or something. Committed armed robbery, robbed everybody, and then soon after, all the victims recanted their statements. Well, this moron used his regular cell phone, and all the messages and all his communication was in his iCloud. Simply got, and then they did all the transactions of paying these people off $30,000, $20,000, and $5,000. And then the third guy who only got $5,000 was nice enough to split it with the victim number 4. So, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if they'd be able to keep it or what's going to happen, but he's caught. Okay? He's caught like a moron. So, what's the bottom line? They're a famous athlete making millions of dollars driving a Lamborghini. Stay playing football and be happy. That's your life. That's your career. People dream of that. What the hell are you doing committing armed robbery over a stupid bet you lost when you're driving a Lambo? It's a little cute. Don't show up in your Lambo. Don't do armed robbery, first of all. But don't go buy a freaking $20 throwaway phone at Walmart. Just saying. And remember, love this country, love each other. Together, we can keep this country this beautiful as it is. Separated, we're worthless. I love you, America. I love you so much. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Like, share, subscribe, comment, please. This is Woody. I'm checking out the New World Woke News, where you get the news straight up with no bull. Love you guys.